I made my trauma my identity, and that when I finally identified that, I was like, all right, like I need to like let go. I'm more than what happened to me. Like I'm not that identity no more.
So can you talk a little bit about what your style says about you?
I feel like my style right now is what I wanted it to be when I was in like 6th grade. I feel like at that time I was like forward mentally, but I couldn't like do the stuff I wanted to do. 5th graders are like mean as fuck. They're really judgmental about like everything. No matter how much people tormented me and no matter how much I tried to fit into this mold they tried to shove me in, like I never fit. Also, like the older Dominican community, unless they're like open-minded, they're very like homophobic, racist, transphobic, very like misogynistic. A lot of the kids are just adapting what they're hearing. Everything is submissive, like you can't think that you're better than a guy. You have to be beautiful, like that traditional of beautiful. Being weird is not beautiful, like very whitewashing. Like, oh yeah, like no, your hair looks better ironed, like don't stand too much under the sun, you're gonna get darker, like it's a real thing. I felt like the most misunderstood ever around that time. So that's why I feel like I embraced myself. Cause now it's like nobody's paying my fucking rent. You're fucking not putting money in my pocket. Like you can't tell me anything. Like I'm gonna dress how I want and I'm gonna do what I want.
You take the bag off?
Mm-hmm.
So can you talk about assumptions that people make about you based on how you look?
I think people are scared to tell me how they feel about me in front of my face. I'm always like, I'm open, but like don't fuck with me. I remember being younger and like getting into like a fist fight with my landlord. She didn't like the way that I responded to her because it wasn't ladylike. She felt compelled to come through and fight me. It was funny because years later, she talked to me about it. And then she was just like, I know what happened to you when you were younger, so you know, you just have a lot of anger inside. She's like, because I have a lot of anger inside too. She was referring to like the sexual abuse that I went through as a kid. And that happened when I was like 7, 8. It went on for like a really long time period. My mom would always work. Like when I was younger, she always had to work because she was a single mother, 3 kids. My aunt's husband, he used to babysit me and a couple of other kids. He just molested me and tried to fuck, but can't really fuck. He tried to make me fuck another little kid. Like it was pretty fucked up. He used to like mask himself in the religion, like I'm a Christian man, and everybody loves him in the church. He had a very good facade on. Shit, he was fooling me when I was younger. Like I thought he was a great man. Even though he was doing what he was doing, he was more of like sweet about it. Like, oh yeah, this is happening. This is normal. He used to always normalize it to me. So I didn't really grasp what was happening, if it was a bad thing or not. It all happened also like in my mom's room in my first house where I was like brought to when I was born. And as I got older, I saw he lost interest in me. And then there was other younger kids around that he had to babysit. So then it got to a point where I got like 15, 16, where I was understood what happened to me was very wrong. And when I told everybody, it just caused like a huge division in my family. It was just like half of them believe me, half of them don't. It made me feel like I spent a lot of my youth around people who don't give a fuck about me. And I remember when I got older and I was like 21, I wrote a Facebook post about it. And the reason I did it was because people were still acting like what I was saying was not true. Or it was like, oh, that's a he said, she said situation. It happened so long ago. Oh yeah, like someone started that rumor. It's, we're family. It's under the fucking carpet. Like, no. I just wrote this crazy Facebook post, like saying everything I'm saying right now. I just went ham. And I remember his wife called my mother and was like, you gotta tell her to take that down. My mom was like, she's grown. She could do what she want. I'm not telling her to take down anything. And then she was just like, yeah, well, it's embarrassing. I'm so sorry. You enabled this man. If anything, you fed into his perverseness by running a babysitting service, knowing he been accused not once, but twice, but 3 times. And they tried to make it seem like there was something so special about him. That's where my anger stemmed from the most. That I was nothing. That, oh, he's more important, he's more holy than you, he's more this, he's more that. I was like, I'm tired of sitting at the table across from this guy. Dude, I had like my first steps in front of you, like I have baby pictures with you, like you fed me as a kid. I also feel like going through that, I learned that family is whoever you want them to be, because I feel like I found my loyalty more in my friends than anybody else. Obviously my mom too, and like my brothers.
Can you talk a little bit more about like your experience of starting to see how it was impacting you?
I feel like I carried it into my romantic relationships with men. There's just certain things I had to move past, like sexually and romantically. At times where I wouldn't let myself enjoy intimacy because I would be triggered. Like even if it's like stroking my hair or like being in my face, like simple things like that, like all of a sudden I would just be like, no. It wasn't so clear to me at the time. Why am I feeling uncomfortable right now? Why am I feeling guilty? Like, this is so awkward and weird. Like, why am I anxious? Like, I didn't understand. And then until I started, like, talking more openly, then, like, people helped me piece it together. It definitely was a community effort because at first I was being very like defensive even with myself. Like I was just kind of like, I don't understand why this is happening. I don't want to tell nobody. Like being just a fucking wall. Like no. Like I made my trauma my identity, and that when I finally identified that, I was like, all right, like I need to like let go. I'm more than what happened to me. Like I'm not that identity no more. You're okay, you're not alone, like this is gonna take time. Because I felt like I was also went through a phase where I was trying to rush my healing. Like I was trying to force myself to be over it instead of actually being over it.
So you're saying a turning point.
As much as I love my family, they tried to keep me in this like box. Like, I left home because I wanted to be an artist. You know, I started dancing and stuff, and I was still like doing art on the side. And I had to like dance to survive and stuff. I feel like when I was a stripper, like I definitely got more comfortable with my body. And dancing actually empowered me to embrace my sexuality and be a stronger woman. But the environment is not for everybody. And I used to see a lot of crazy shit just go down around me. And also having my sleep schedule like completely turned upside down. My job started distracting me from what I initially left my mother's house for. This is taking up so much of my time that I can't be an artist anymore, so I can't do this anymore. And that's when I hit my turning point where I was like, yo, I just dropped everything, like not knowing what my next move would be. My first time ever coming to LA was with the suitcase. I started just making art every single day in every form possible. I like clothes, I'm gonna make clothes. Like I like painting, I'm gonna make paintings. I was making big canvases at the time, and I remember I fucked up like this like super big canvas, like 40 by 60, and I was just like, oh shit, I should probably find something to cover it. I was just walking around the fabric district and I saw this royal blue faux fur. I'm gonna just get this to cover it. And when I covered it and stuff, I like hung it up, and I remember like seeing it hung up and I'm like, this is dope. Like it just went from like a mistake to like becoming this whole narrative and experience, and like create these installations. Like it's all about creating a safe space, like even physically, where like you can't get hurt in the room if you were to fall. But mentally, it's like creating a safe space, especially for like Black and brown folks, for women, and for misfits, for people who were just like out of place like me. This thing that, you know, Black and brown people are hard people. I wanted to change that narrative into it being like soft. I'm a big advocate in like art is therapy. For example, like I've recreated a bedroom. It definitely helped me heal. It helped me move past my trauma in ways that I never thought I would move past it. Creating a community in art, you know, making art that makes me feel like I'm not alone. It's helped me tremendously. That's when my self-love grew, my community grew. It was just kind of unbelievable to me, where I'm just like, oh shit, like I have people who like love me and care about me. Like this is crazy.
When do you feel the most vulnerable?
I feel the most vulnerable when I speak my mind, I guess. When I talk. Speaking up, like, was really hard for me, and especially in that era of being around people who are so judgmental, and also going through all of that as a kid. It's still something that I'm working through. every time that I speak up that I'm not gonna get like shunned for it. Pretty much, yeah.
When do you feel the most beautiful?
I feel the most beautiful when I'm out the shower, because I feel like that's when I'm my rawest form. I feel like I grew into my body, so now I'm better. But before, I used to struggle with eating. So I had an eating disorder, and I was really, really, really skinny growing up. That was like my form of rebellion, was not to eat, because it is such a big thing in Dominican culture to eat. Like, it's disrespectful if you like leave your plate. With society's pressures, I always caught myself like wishing I was a different person, like whitewashing with like hair and skin color and eyes. And when now that I'm grown up and think back, like, holy shit, that's not healthy at all. I grew out of that programming that I was in. I like unlearned all of that.
When was the last time you cried?
The last time I cried, like sobbing or like a little tear, but like sobbing on my way to Japan. I was on the plane. There was a film playing. It was about this little girl who's homeless with her dad. I don't have a relationship with my dad. I don't talk to him at all. So I was like, damn, like, yo, her dad's a alcoholic, homeless, ain't got nothing to give her but some attention, but he doing it. And also because I was on my way to Japan, and I feel like that was like a dream come true too. And I'm just like, wow, like I got it so far without you.
Last question. Why in your body, in your skin, in your journey, why is it a good place to be?
My journey is important because it's not just for me, it's for everyone I come in contact with. So I just try my best to, whatever I've been through, kind of share it in a way where people don't have to make the same mistakes as me, or that they're not alone. I'm not like living in somebody else's truth. Like, I'm happy being me and, you know, supplying the world with what I create, knowing it's helping people. I love being in this body and I love this journey. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. That was incredibly beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm Lily,
And I'm Elisa.
and we're the mother-daughter co-founders of StyleLikeU. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the What's Underneath project, brought to you by Third Love.
Third Love is a lingerie company that is dedicated to offering bras for every body, no matter size, shape, or age.
Third Love offers 78 sizes, including exclusive half-cup sizes. We are so grateful to Third Love for supporting us in bringing this new season of the What's Underneath project to life. If you agree that facades separate us and being radically honest brings us together, help spread the movement for self-acceptance by sharing this episode and subscribing to our YouTube channel.
And don't forget to click the bell so you're aware of every time we drop a new episode.